What do you say when people say the core business just isn't there, and that's her biggest issue?
What's most important in the internet is one person, the user. And she's been able to grow the internet user base. I mean, the fact that they have 1 billion users, the challenge has been with this company is been about growing the monetization. I can't talk very much about Yahoo, but what I can say is there were few people who could have grown traffic on the internet. And there's no other great internet turnaround story, and I think this is going to be it.
How is she growing it? How would you? What do you see as her biggest successes in terms of her ability to grow? Is it through some of these acquisitions?
No, it's been user experience. They've made it a much easier product to use. Mobile, they have some amazing mobile applications, including try out their weather app or their news app. They're really among the best on a device. I mean, they are one of the top 5 companies now in mobile. When she got there, they were nowhere.
And yet, revenue is still pretty tricky. I mean, you're not making a lot of money, shall we say, off of some of these ads online and on mobile devices.
Traffic is a leading indicator. Traffic going up, eventually money will follow.
Money. You know, everybody keeps saying that, Paul Kedrosky, but, you know, when it comes to the dollar amounts that you're seeing for some of these online ads, they just can't compare with traditional media.
No, they can't, and I mean, and that's, that may address itself to some degree as devices become larger. I think to some extent one of the problems with mobile ads, generally speaking, is that they're fighting for space on a very small handhelds, and so as a result, the ads themselves become smaller and people largely ignore them, fairly successfully. So that's not really what I'm as hung up with respect to Yahoo. I think the deeper structural problem for Yahoo is it has really no idea. Yes, really has no idea what it wants to be, and Marissa, and I don't think you can entirely fault her for this, hasn't been able to express it to the company what it wants to be. Is it truly an ad technology company? Is it truly a content company? Is it just a holding company, for Alibaba equity, as the cynics like to say? I think there's a huge problem here, and it's one of the reasons why, I'm a venture capitalist. One of our favorite places to poach employees from is Yahoo, because they're almost always frustrated with endless organizational change and turnover and the constant threat of layoffs.
You need to have a message. You need to be able to convey that message to the markets, and you need to be able to convey that message internally, to your own employees. And without it, you're not really standing for anything. And we all know how unforgiving the public marketplace can be. It's one of the things, Paul, that Carly brought up with me yesterday. One of Marissa's challenges, she said, is just that investors, they don't give you a very long leash here.
No, they don't. And I mean, in particular, when they feel like you've got fragile cargo. I mean, think of it from the standpoint of a large institutional investor who has a major position at Yahoo. Their single biggest concern really has nothing to do with all of the many acquisitions that Yahoo has made. They want to make sure you don't break this bunch of eggs called Alibaba equity because, it's roughly valued at the valuation of the company. The company is essentially trading for the value of its Alibaba equity, give or take, a couple of $1 billion right now. And so their concern is, and this became the huge issue in the call and probably helps explain the bump in the stock today, was we want to make sure this is a major focus of the company's management. How are you going to sort of tax optimize this equity position such that we don't take we, meaning the company, don't take a large hit, and you can still distribute it in one form or another, likely through a buyback back to shareholders. And this is what they care about. Everything else is largely noise at this point.
So Praveen, has she bought some time with Starboard?
I think management is pretty resolute in terms of defending itself, over $7 billion in buybacks. I think one of the main points that they showed was, I think one of the accusations from activist investors was that, they've done over $1 billion in acquisitions. There's no revenue to show for it. I think the mobile revenue number was a positive. So, over $700 million in revenue this year. So that kind of shows that they are a little bit moving the needle in terms of mobile. But remember that this company really started from, zero in mobile when she took over. So I think that is some progress for the core business.
How's the future look overall?
I really can't talk.
You can't.
Former director.
I hear you.